Hey, everybody. Welcome to the next episode, or maybe the last episode of Anthony and Ben talk about SQL Server 2025.
The grand finale, Anthony. I got good, I got grace, and I got amazing news for you. Which one do you want first?
Let's start with good.
So, the good news is we get to do another episode. The great news is, as of today, SQL Server 2025 is GA. The amazing news is we don't have a demo, but
Wait,
we have
did you
guests.
forget to prep the demo?
No, it's much better. That's why it's amazing news. We have 3 people joining us today. We got Raj, Bob, and Davide from the product team all joining us. Hang on. That means it's not Anthony and Ben talk about SQL Server 2025, right? Let me
Right.
fix this.
Anthony, Bob, Raj, Davide, and Ben talk about SQL Server 2025.
Production quality.
Amazing times where you can just fix a jingle just like that. An epic jingle fixed just like that. To our 3 guests, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy days, especially in these times, to chat with Anthony and I. Could we ask you, I mean, everybody knows who you are, but still, could we ask you all for quick rounds of intros, maybe starting with Raj?
Yeah, I can go first. My name is Raj Pochiraju, and I'm a principal product manager in Azure SQL. I've been with Microsoft for last 21 years. My whole experience is built on SQL Server. Starting from SQL Server 6.0. I remember the days where I kind of worked on a snapshot replication, which is just came in SQL Server 6.0, right? And since then, I just worked on SQL Server itself, whether it is Azure SQL or migrations or SQL Server Health Check. Later, it is called as a RAP as a service, which really help customers to implement all the best practices for SQL Server. And I've been the founder for some of the migration tools that customers are leveraging now to migrate to the cloud. So and this is the monumental moment for me. Being a SQL Server engineer or working on SQL Server for so long, leading the entire SQL Server 2025 release itself is the peak point of my career for sure. I'm so glad that Microsoft gave me this opportunity.
We're going to have questions about that in a second.
Okay.
Bob, you want to go next?
Sure. Thanks for having me on your show. I've heard a lot about this show. I don't think I've heard that song before, but that's pretty catchy.
You can admit that it's your ringtone by now, Bob.
It's a ringtone. Well, hey, I'm Bob Ward. I'm an architect in the Azure data team in engineering for SQL. I'm also known internally as the chief troublemaker and historian. So when it comes to like finding things to just make trouble in this organization, I always do it. And then if somebody says, what did SQL Server do back in 1990, whatever, like, Bob, do you remember what it was like back in diskettes? So that's kind of what I do at Microsoft, just make trouble and talk about the history of Microsoft. But it's great to be part of the show. And it's also great to just see SQL 25 finally land.
Yes.
And
I guess I'm
last
the
but
last
not
one.
least,
Yeah.
please, Davide.
So I'm Davide Maure, I'm a PM in the Azure SQL team. I focus on developer and AI. So I'm the owner actually of the vector support that you've been using so far and so long in all the Bentoning show. And also, by the way, thanks a lot for having us in the jingle. That's a first for me. Thank you. And yeah, I'm super excited about 2025 because it's really rich for developer, in developer value and developer features. Vector is just one, but there are so many things in there that will make developers super happy that I'm looking forward to see everyone taking advantage of the stuff we put in.
As someone that considers himself a developer, I would heavily agree on that statement. Raj, what is kind of the headline story of SQL 2025?
SQL Server 2025, an enterprise, an AI-ready enterprise database from ground to cloud. So basically, SQL Server 2025, with all the innovation that we built in the AI space, it significantly changes the way that customers get insights from their organizational data, the way that they perform the search with semantic search and all those capabilities. With using just the familiarized T-SQL syntax itself, that significantly changes the way that they get insights from their workloads to begin with, right? And it opens the doors to expand SQL Server to develop the broad range of applications, with all these capabilities to begin with. And Davide mentioned some of the developer, he talked about the developer productivity increase, right? Regex with JSON, Vector. These are all the capabilities really, help customers to build innovation using the SQL Server, whether it could be on-premises SQL Server 2025 or cloud, because we built the consistent experiences across on-premises and as well as the cloud. Um, the way that we came, we reached to this state is that when last year at Ignite happened in my hometown Chicago, we announced the private preview for the SQL Server 2025. Right at that point of time, since then we kind of release every month. 6 CTPs actually for every month. Each CTP, either we add a new set of features, or we kind of based on the feedback that we received from the limited set of customers, we ran a large limited set of large private preview customer base. We ran the program with almost 600 plus customers who participated in this preview across all these until we release it for the public preview. They tested this product and gave us the feedback, and every CTP we either add a new set of features or improve. Based on the feedback that we receive, we kind of add more, extend the existing features. That kind of an exercise went through almost all these months for 6 private CTPs, and we did 2 public CTPs and as well as RC0 and RC1. Now we are getting ready for general availability to begin with, right? And the good news here is that all these features are battle tested in the cloud with the cloud first approach that we got. Most of these features are battle tested in the cloud even before we put it in the on-premises, SQL Server 2025 to begin with, right? And we conducted various sessions. Almost every week there is a session for these private preview customers to see what the innovation that our team is built, and then they take the product and then test it and provide us a seamless feedback channel to us, and we prioritize those feedbacks that we received, and then it really helps us to improve the quality, security, and as well as the performance and scalability of the product. So basically, the innovation, all the AI innovation, the developer productivity is built on top of our foundations, which is the security, performance, and scalability, which has always been the key aspects of SQL Server since ever we got, like since last 30 years to begin with. And towards this journey, I got an opportunity to work with incredible, customers like you, MVPs like you, and as well as incredible engineers and product managers like Davide you saw, and there are so many other product managers that I worked with, and of course I had a close integration and close collaboration with Bob as well in this whole world. This is a great experience that I'm going
He's
to take.
tired of seeing emails from me. He's like, he sees an email from me, he's like, I can't respond anymore to this guy. So
Yeah, this experience, I cherish my life actually. This is a great experience that I went through. Yeah.
Yeah, I can second that, Raj. I think as a partner and as an MVP, being able to collaborate with all of you in the many different ways throughout the early access program and the public preview has been fantastic. So lots of emails have been exchanged, right?
I know.
yeah.
So in that space, Bob, let's talk about the
Yeah.
meat and potatoes of SQL Server, right? I think kind of one of your core topics is the total softball question. I think this is really about what's the thing you're most excited about in that space, kind of in the core engine improvements in 2025. And
No, Anthony,
what's
that's
gonna-
not fair. Because you
Uh-oh.
know that our team is going to be listening to this.
Oh,
and they're
that's
gonna
true.
say,
Okay. Yeah.
If Bob picks out a feature and not their team, I'm going to get all sorts
100%.
of email from this. I'm going to make it easy on you. I'm going to make it easy on you.
Okay.
So when we were planning this release way back a long time ago, right? We obviously know we need to do AI technology. Like it was a huge focus for us. And I got a little nervous. I was like, do we have stuff for the engine? Like we have to do the engine, right? If you don't have an engine, all the other stuff we're doing doesn't matter, right? Did you know there are some 40 plus features actually in the engine across security, performance, and availability? So the call line is the fact that we really have invested in the engine itself. And every single one of those things is based on customer feedback. Let me give you an example. Availability groups. Everybody loves availability groups. Use that technology forever. There's some things there, though, that we need to shore up on the reliability of it, the ability to fail over properly and consistently, tuning for performance diagnostics. So the team literally went through a series of customer feedbacks and said, let's just go pour this into the release. So like 8 new features all around that area for AGs. Anthony, you've looked at things like backup compression. We have a new backup compression algorithm. to make backups even more efficient. And then if you think about things like optimized locking, like people just hate lock escalation. Like just get rid of that thing, right? So just go configure the database, and then now you don't have to worry about it anymore. But here's another one for you. People don't like it when you know those guys in the cube, right? You guys know those guys.
Oh yeah.
They write the worst queries in the world. And what they do is when they write these queries, it causes like spills into sort, like for TempDB. So TempDB
Oh, yeah.
goes out of control. So don't let the guys in the cube on your database or TempDB will go out of control. You got an answer for that. We have a resource governor feature for TempDB to sandbox them and say you only get this much space, so you can accurately manage, your TempDB usage. And
Mhm.
another fun one that I'll throw out is abort query execution. Let's say again, those guys are running some query, crazy query, taking your server down. You can't control what they're doing. Go into query store, throw a hint on it. Next time they run their query, aborted, doesn't run. So all of those things combined, managed identity, password lists, and security and so
Oh
forth,
yeah.
all those things combined to me add up to a pretty cool set of features in the engine.
Yeah, and I think driving the outcomes of performance, availability, enterprise grade, that's
Yeah.
really the focus that I like to see is that you can provide the stability, you can provide kind of the level of control in a good way for workloads like that. So fantastic stuff.
I think anybody that will go look at the new features, if you haven't had a chance to look at it, will go down this list of all these engine features. Like, oh, persistent stats on secondaries. Yeah, I've been wanting that. Or again, TempDB resource governance. I'd like to remove in-memory OTP from my database without blowing the database away. I mean, these little things all add up that people have been wanting that we're putting in the release. So, I'm pretty excited about what we're doing in the engine. I think we're going to prove to people that this isn't just about being AI, which is a great feature. Davide will tell you that. But we've got all these great foundations of the engine itself that I think people would be excited about.
Very much so.
Can I just say that this was the most elegant way of Anthony asking for a favorite and Bob just listing out all the new things coming there?
Well, I slightly care about it. I don't know. I'm a little passionate about it. So.
No, and I agree because I think honestly, as a side, so often when we do these community things and all that, you talk to all these new kids doing Python and Spark notebooks and all that, and they're like, "Oh, you're still doing SQL? Is that even still a thing?" And I think all of these things they prove very much, not just in SQL Server, but in all the different SQL flavors. But they very much prove that what old people like Anthony and I are doing, it's very much still a thing. So.
Absolutely.
No.
Wait,
We're going to
who's
allow that answer as your favorite.
Yeah.
All of them.
All 40 plus engine features. That way my entire engine development team, engineering team can be excited. Bob called them out, right? So
Well, the thing is also it's going to make us excited because we get to
Yeah.
use these amazing new features.
Exactly.
So. Davide, I mean, Anthony and I, we have talked a lot about vectors, and because it's kind of we kind of have the tendency to talk about all that new stuff, and then let's hope I didn't get too excited about that because usually when I get excited about something like BDC, we all know what happened back then. Let's not go there.
Now, wait a minute. You didn't say you were going to bring that onto the show. Now, come on.
I said I have a surprise for him. So
Yeah.
And I'm
That's the
still very
surprise. Oh man.
no. As you have seen by the amount of content we did just on that feature alone here on this show, I can see all these engine things, and they are honestly great. But that thing is just something brand new. It could have been a separate service. I love how it made its way into the service, and it really makes it an integrated thingy. But before we talk a little more about the AI and vectors, what else is in there for the developers amongst us?
Many things, but definitely my favorite is JSON data type, and JSON index. That makes so easy for developer now to just use the database as a single point of storage and management for all your data, structured, semi-structured, even unstructured. To me, I mean, I've been using it since we had, the support in the text format, just to send data back and forth to SQL, because then you can just do JSON dump or JSON load in Python, or just treat JSON as JSON in Node. Super easy. But now it's a whole new level, right? The performance and the fact that you can use JSON path queries, you can index the JSON document entirely, and please, no one listening this kind of thing, this kind of show should do that, but we can store up to 2 gigabyte of JSON per row. Now, don't do that, but that just shows the kind of the potential that we provide developers. And I mean, you index that, and it's just as fast as a regular index you have on a table, and that's a pretty unique value, I would say. Other databases do indexing in a different way. I think we took our time, but now we had some great kind of implementation. Then regular expression is very, very common request for many times been. Now we have regular expression support. Now everyone is kind of excited about AI and using embedding for everything. But embedding are a little bit costly, right? So if you just need to find if two strings are similar, maybe you don't need to go to the embedding. You can just use a fuzzy string matching that we just added to the engine too. So basically, what I like about SQL Server in general, but our approach is that we want to give developer options. Then each developer should pick the best option that works for them. But as many options we can give, the better is for developers, right? So we are really creating a rich ecosystem of features that you can use alone or together. And what I really, really like about all the work we do behind the scene is that how much does it take for us to make sure that everything works well together. Now, I know that you may say that not everything works well together. Of course, there are always places where we can improve. But the fact that you just install SQL Server and forget about anything else, you just start to use it and you have everything in it, it's honestly a huge plus, in my opinion, for everyone who just want to have the peace of mind of saying, okay, I have my data stored there. I don't have to think about anything else. I just use it. So that's honestly one of my biggest, proud moment. 2025 is really the database for developers.
Can I add one word there? It's the seamless database for developers. Like
yes,
Bob
absolutely.
was talking about like, oh, we got all these tiny things. One of these tiny things is that you can now have that block storage access without enabling Polybase. It's been there before, but it's gotten more seamless. So, I got some stuff sitting on my S3. I'll just grab that without doing anything around that, and it's making things so much easier. And to me personally, that is kind of the story that makes it super compelling to me, because I mean, there's other vector databases out there. It's not like I wouldn't need SQL Server to be there. There's other ways of talking to a REST API, but doing all of that,
that's right. But
in one single notebook, in one single T-SQL file.
Yeah. And I guess the main point right now is that developers would, in general, users of database expect some feature. What they also expect that we give them is, as you said, the seamless experience, because I can always spin up something and stitch together. I'm a developer. I can do stuff, right? I need a new database. I can even create one, right? But is worth my time? Probably not, right? So it's better if Microsoft does it for me, so I can just focus on my delivering the value for my business, my use case, without worrying about, I need to move data here and there, and then what about security and compliancy and keeping data in sync. So definitely everything in one place that is secure and scalable. I think it's our value proposition. Oh, I left you speechless. I can't believe it.
Ben is never speechless.
I wasn't sure if I'm just going to nod again, because 100% agreed.
Good.
On to the next one, you think, Ben?
Yes, please.
Cool. All right, Bob.
Yes.
Up again. So, new release, new book, SQL Server 2025 Unveiled came out. Let's talk about that a little bit. You've indicated one of my favorite parts about every book that you've written since 2017 is you always bring the history to the party and like kind of tell us how we got to this point, and you name names and you tell stories. It's fantastic. So I always love that perspective. One thing that I think was super unique in this book is you spent a ton of time calling out community members, specifically like Ben and Andy, David over at Hotmacher over in Europe. So I just want to say thank you. You've been such a fantastic partner over the years to all of us, and shining a light on everybody but yourself in a good way, and making sure everyone gets to share that stage with you in an amazing way. Tell us about your experiences of writing a book every year for every release since 2017. Was it
Yeah,
hard?
I
What was
guess
the
so.
good
Behind me
times, the
here
bad
is
times?
here's
Yeah,
the series right here. So this sixth book just came out. Thank you for mentioning it. And you're right, it is a passion because I get involved in this release from the very beginning. So the history is writing itself in the book, the first chapter, as I'm living this history myself, working with
right,
people in the community, Davide, Raj, everybody else in the team. So I have a lot of fun in that first chapter, just talking about, hey, here's my journey along with all these other people to build such a great release. And it's a blast. It's just so much fun to go through because I'm writing the book as we're building the release. Quite frankly, it's a little bit of a
right.
challenge there, by the way, because you got to finish this thing in a way to make sure that it can be printed by the time we go GA, and you got to get everything in the last minute. So there's a few things that didn't quite make it that made GA, which is okay because I can talk about that after the fact. But it's certainly a passion of mine to continue to do this and make it part of the community itself that they can go learn and look at it. And I love getting Davide's quote in there, Raj's quote in there. I love getting quotes from people on the team. Hey, tell me what it was like to go build this and why you did it. There's people that you don't even know, never even heard of before, in the engineering team as well, quoted in the book. So certainly a lot of fun. I have a really big passion about charity. So all my royalties for all my books go to charity. And that's not just to call me out, that's to encourage others to give back. So any royalty I get from these books, I always find a great charitable organization. Microsoft will match them. That's another fun part of writing books like this. So yeah, it's a great passion of mine. I'm glad to see this next one come out. I'm actually relieved when they're done. You guys have written books before,
Oh yeah,
when you finish, like, oh my gosh, it's finally finished, right? But yeah, really excited to see the last book come out.
great. No, awesome. So I think maybe kind of start to bring this in for a landing. Kind of maybe go around the horn one last time. Any kind of final thoughts or comments for the audience team? Raj, can I start with you?
Yeah, and the customers gave us an opportunity to build a great product, right? Which provide a consistent experiences across the ground and cloud, and we want them to leverage and then start building the intelligent applications on SQL Server or Azure SQL, basically.
Very cool. Very cool. Davide?
Yeah, something I want to make sure that everyone, since there will be millions of listeners to this episode,
Millions.
I just want to make sure that everyone listening to this episode knows that SQL Server 2025, but even the previous version, there is a completely free version that you can
Yes.
just use. It's called the Developer Edition. You don't even have to search for it. You just go to VS Code and basically download it from there. There is an extension that we have in VS Code, so you just grab it. It will download on your Docker, on your computer using Docker, and you just free to use it. We also have a free option in Azure SQL, completely free, with all the features that you will have in on premises. It's very nice for a developer to just start to play with 2025, experiment, and then move to Azure if they want. Hopefully they won't, because I think it's the best place for SQL to be. And just build stuff. I build it for my friends, fantasy soccer or fantasy Formula One, and it's just a pleasure right now. So it's super fun.
That's 100% true, Davide. Like to this day, like even at work, someone's like, "Hey, where can I get the ISO for SQL Server?" I'm like,
Yeah,
you can just download it directly from
yeah,
Microsoft for free, right?
yes,
So,
exactly.
what's top of mind for you at the end here, Bob?
Well, so something that might have got missed in GA that I think is very
Mhm.
exciting. Number one, we did not increase the price. So
No.
the same price of what we charged in the past, all this new functionality. I'm just saying that because I want to make sure people know we are very serious about keeping it affordable. Number two, Davide mentioned editions. Did you know that the developer edition now comes in a standard version as well? So if you're a developer, you want to go ship on standard, go use the developer standard version and it'll act like standard. Speaking of standard, did you know we increased the limits? So now from 24 cores to 32 cores, 128 gig to 256 gig, resource governor put in there as well, and
Oh
even SQL
wow,
Express 50 gig max, and a bunch of the features Davide just talked about are in Express. So we took a really hard look at this release to make sure we're keeping up to date to where developers need to develop, but also where customers need to have a very price, conscious way of running SQL Server. So to me, that's a great cap off of what we put into the release. Hopefully it didn't get missed when we announced GA, but I think people are pretty excited about those.
Nice. Thank you all. Anthony, I kind of thought this would be our final I mean, we called it the grand finale, but
We did.
we forgot one thing. Enable preview features. I think there's more to come. So this may not be the last episode we will see even after GA.
Yes.
Which I'm also very excited about, seeing all these changes happening. Thank you all three again so much for taking us on that journey, also for working with us. And I can't stress this out. This was so much fun working with all of you in the past couple of months and really feeling like, oh, this is an eye-to-eye discussion. They're really listening to what we're saying. All this is some of these things in the product. We're like, I gave feedback on that. This makes me proud. Nice. Thank you again for being on our show. And thank you for delivering an amazing product for us, our friends, our community, our partners, our customers. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. Welcome SQL Server 2025 and see you all soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.